Good evening, all. I never really know what to say in these sort of introductions, but as I say, this is another advert video. The truth is, I didn't really want to make another one of these videos so close to the last time I did one, which was a few weeks ago. But the weather out there is so cold and dark, and I'm just frozen. I just want to come inside. And I thought I'd make the most of my time since I've got about half an hour. Just look for a few adverts. It's not going to be as long as last time. There are a few cars that have come up that I thought would be interesting just to have a look at and see what's wrong with them or what their price is, and I can put my impetus on that. I'm really chuffed that some people really value my opinion. I've been getting messages saying, "Oh, how much is this worth?" And I think it's coming from people who are not very familiar with the cars at all. If you are slightly familiar and you have been in the Mark 1 scene, then you would be more aware, just as aware as I am, kind of what the prices might be. But there are some really high-end cars that have come on the market recently, and we've had some really stonking cars. I don't know where these have come from, because a couple of years ago they were not around whatsoever. You just saw tired examples left, right and centre, most of them in the breakers. So it's really nice to see all these low mileage, maybe one or two owner from new, really well kept cars, really well preserved. Some of them have been garaged, it's quite clear about that. So we're going to take a look at a few ones that I've seen from both sides of the spectrum. Just a little shout out as usual. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Every little subscription I get really motivates me on these cold, dark days. Because as I say, I'm not a professional mechanic. I'm not a professional in any capacity. I'm not a professional in terms of my camera work. I don't work in the media. This is just someone grabbing a camera who is learning as I'm going along. And I'm kind of wary about the sound quality outside, particularly with the busy road and the wind. That is going to be sorted long term, but I don't really want to invest in expensive, well, decently half expensive sort of equipment. I'm talking a couple £100 maybe for a GoPro, maybe a Rode wireless, which will solve it will make my videos a little bit more polished. But the truth is, with only about 330 odd subscribers, I can't justify that. Not at the moment. At the end of the day, my money's going into the cars, and I'm doing everything off one tripod and one phone camera, and I'm just trying to plan things as best as I can. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It really does help. I've put a shout out on both the main clubs on Facebook, of which I've been a member of both for quite a while, and that has had some help. I know it's sort of flatlined a little bit, which I expected, but I'm hoping that more and more people will see those posts and think, I need to go and watch this. Because if you're into Mark 1s, it's like a haven of information that I'm giving out. Some bits you may know, some bits you don't. So it's quite interesting that most people have come up to me and said, thank you so much for solving this. This is really wonderful for us. It's clear, straightforward. And that's exactly what I want to hear, because that's exactly the way I want to come across. So yeah, I'm not really into the self-promotional stuff, but it is what it is. Cheers. Right, I'm going to jump straight in here. Focus Mark 1, 2 litre, petrol, gear, automatic. My goodness me, that is all the boxes. If you want an automatic, I would absolutely go for this. The 2 litre gear, being the top model, I think it's a 13, yeah, it's a 53 plate, so 2003. That will come with an awful lot of toys. That is a stonking car, and well, this is now. I don't know when I'm going to put this video out, probably either later today or tomorrow on Tuesday. In that case, it may have gone, but my God, 1,120 already, 41 people. Based down in Beckenham, London, I presume. I think this is the ULEZ thing again kicking in. 79, just over 79,000 miles. Unbelievable. Let's have a look at some of the pictures. I've always said I would actually fancy a 2 litre automatic. If I had the money, I think I'd have already bidded on this.
and that's quite neat. Fairly honest, there's no major leaks on what I can say. Yep. I'm trying to get this all in the shot for you. So actually I'm going to move the tripod just a little bit. There we go. That's a bit better for you. Boots, always, that's actually a nice sign, but I would always take the actual wheel out because water doesn't hang around here, it goes down. So check for any surface rust that might indicate historical boot leaking. But that looks quite nice and tidy actually. Looks a little bit on the dusty side, which is actually a good thing. Usually if it's dusty, it hasn't had water leaking in. Yeah, curved wheels, this doesn't look too bad either. Not for a 2003 model. In fact, I can't really see. I'd like to see this bit here. This bit is quite fascinating because it's quite honest. It has not been messed around with. Like most of them, you know, they're still running on their original suspension, but they will need to be changed if they have not already done so. I never knew the 2 litre had an actual silencer similar to the actual back box, because I've got one of these on my 1.6, and that's the correct one for my car as well, according to Clarius. But that, wow, that looks nice as well. I like the I just like the ribbing. I don't know why. The springs don't look bad at all. They look as if they've been changed, but the arms certainly haven't been. So that bolt would have had to have been released to change that. There's no real way of actually changing it without doing so. That looks like fun. That will probably need cutting out. That may need cutting out. That will just need cutting off and a new one putting in. They will be possibly seized, so you have to be careful of that. But that subframe will clean up quite nicely. Again, the other side. Sorry about that. The camera's gone down a bit. Yeah, I just make sure there's nothing lurking along that, but it's the bit where the bolt goes through the middle of the spring. Up there, it can basically rot around that spring and new subframe basically. Bottom arms need obviously doing at the same time. It's all going to need it doing because those arms wouldn't have been done. The train arm bushes wouldn't have been done. I really do think, guys, if you are in this position and you're scratching your head as to where do you start, get the whole subframe off. I'm not kidding you. It really isn't. It can be a struggle with some of the bolts, and this is why a lot of people do not do this themselves. They give it to a garage. But honestly, if you do it yourself, amazing. If you go to a garage, fine. You will be paying a lot of money for it, but I would have the whole thing taken off the car, the subframe inspected, rust treated, and painted to a decent degree. These bushes to be changed, the anti-roll bushes, these to be changed anyway because they need to be cut off. Obviously, new arms, new sway bar arms, new train arm bush, maybe a new spring. These don't look as if they need changing. And start from afresh because honestly the results are amazing. Alex, who's one of my subscribers, he's just had the rear suspension done on his and the car's already clean as it is, and his car, well, he tells me the difference between then and now are like light and day, and that is the truth. This suspension is just tired, old and knackered. It will be amazing once it's done up because I hope somebody buys this to do it up because 2 litre automatics are quite rare. As I say, if I had the money, I know you've heard it all before, if I had the money, it's true, I would actually go for a 2 litre auto, same gearbox as in the 1.6, and I want a 2 litre engine, and I don't mind the automatics. I'm not obsessed about manuals. Just bring you over here. I mean, the description is excellent, so I would definitely, I mean, the bad, you know, front brake pipes, brake pads wearing thin, reverse light not working, that's usual. That is down to water ingress. You could just clean them out, dry them out, and they could start working. Key fob works but is tired. Yeah, that's the usual, don't worry about that you can replace the actual casing itself. ABS light comes on, that could be a sensor. That's usual. Nothing to worry about too much. Footwell mat is worn. Well, that's very honest. That is. Not many people actually mention things like that. Rear wiper is worn. That's fine. Paint fading. Yeah, I've seen a few bits and pieces. Yep. Other minor scratches and paint imperfections with age and shit driving of other Londoners. Brilliant, brilliant. The alloys are presentable but do have scuffs. Yeah, you know what? This is going to... I'm going to cut this short because I know this is 6 minutes long already. To be honest, that is worth every penny of what it is because it has got a big, big history. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bit of lack appeal. Okay. Some of the 2002, 2003 cars and 2004 cars, the later cars, certainly suffer from lack appeal. Okay, on to the next one. Okay, ZTEC Mark 1. Excuse me as he's slurping his coffee. £330, 8 people have bidded, so this might be quite an interesting one. Okay, so it's a no 5 plate. Looks reasonably straight. No rips in the seats. That's all good. Original radio, so it's been kept unmolested. Maybe an older person's had it. Not assuming everybody who keeps a car unmolested is an old person. I'm a young person, thank you very much. Yeah. Nice. 94,000 miles. That is kind of the kind of ballpark figure I suspect for a lot of ZTEC engines at the moment. It's not too low, it's not too high. Yeah, that's nothing. That's nothing. He's been very honest. Ooh, that's the service history. Yep, that's nice to see. So what does it say? Okay, great little runner, has low mileage for age and only selling due to getting a bigger car. New clutch, new water pump, new auxiliary belt, sparks, coil, V5 present. Bad points. Passenger window, temperamental, but works perfectly from the driver's controls. That's the switch. That is 100% the switch. I've seen that before. Boot will not always stay open by itself. Got new gas struts, but has not rectified it. You've bought rubbish gas struts then. I've seen that before as well. That cheap gas struts for 10 quid for a pair. You know, it's like £5 for a gas strut. How much gas do you think's in it? It might just be a faulty one, but if it's still shutting by itself, then all it takes is one of them to go, and that boot won't hold itself. It's a heavy thing. It's a heavy piece of metal, that, and obviously the glass as well. Passenger door is slightly different colour. So it's had a new door then. Passenger wheel arch is slight dents. Yet we've seen that. Normal wear and tear. Do you know something? That's not too bad at all. Yeah. MOT to March, so you know, 1 key, couple months MOT. That's worth it. That's worth it. That's do you know what? Yeah, it doesn't look too bad at all to me. And for a late one, that's a cheap car. That's gonna go. There's another 5 days on that. Yeah, I think that'll be. I'd be surprised if that doesn't reach about 800 at least. This is cropped up. So we have a Gear 4-door petrol saloon. Again, I just want to cover all bases here, really. I'm trying to get an estate on. This one, it doesn't... So it's a 53 plate. Looks rather straight to me. Metropolis Blue? I think, if I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong about that. I like those seats. I do like those seats. They're like a carryover from 80s Fords. Again, low mileage again. Just seem to be the ones that have done high mileages are the ones that are basically dead. Again, the steering wheels on the later ones, the leather goes really, really funny in the sun. Particularly these later steering wheels with this big bulbous badge, and I don't like them. They look really thick and chunky, these airbags. I really don't like the look of them. Oh, it is a 1.6. Okay, good condition, MOT to the 6th of Jan next year. No advisories, bumps, few bumps and scrapes, 2 keys, 73,000 miles, owned since 2004. Good grief. So that is one owner from new. Exactly as I was saying before, this is a typical example of exactly what I was saying before. 850, 5 days to go, nobody's bidded. Guys, somebody needs to wake up. Jesus Christ, it's actually Surrey Hall. I might actually pick that up myself. Oh, God. Why is it when I've got no money and I've got a car in bits that I need to sort out? I mean, any other YouTuber would probably go out and buy it tomorrow, but there's a little bit more thought on my side. Oh, goodness me. Oh, blimey neck. That's come up at the wrong time because that sounds like a really, really nice car. Might be tied underneath like the rest of them, but I can't see much corrosion at all on that. No. No, somebody needs to buy that. I mean, 850 is an absolute steal. It's got to go. That's got to go for about 1100, 1200 at least. Because it's a 4-door saloon. It's not as popular. But it should definitely get a grand minimum, 1100. I hope so. Another gear, 2003. Spares or repairs. Right, we've gone to the bottom end of things. So what is wrong with this one? Doesn't look straight to me. Looks straight again. Oh dear. Near side anti-roll bar linkage or bush worn. That's the bushes. That's not a problem. That's cheap. Near side lower suspension on ball joint, a slight play. Wow, if that's all that's all the advisories, but it has passed at 107. Leather seats. That's a big plus point. That could be the difference between a car getting scrapped and saved. It really is, honestly. Sometimes you need those things to motivate you to actually look after a car. I mean, the steering wheel. What the hell is going on with this wheel? It's peeling off. I say these later wheels are awful. That's just, I've never seen that kind of wear before. What's he been doing? Scrubbing his hand with sandpaper every time he turns the wheel. Yeah. Engine making loud sound. Haven't. Oh dear. Okay. Making a loud noise. I really do wish eBay allow you to put videos on an ad. One of these could be a video. Why do people not do videos? Because that could really ascertain what the noise is. Yeah. The tyres are good, but that noise could be anything. That could be anything from a tappet noise, valve clearances to bottom end. I hope not, because that's basically, it would be a spares and repairs. I really do hope that is not a big end, because that would be scrap. You'd have to get another engine. I mean, the rest of the car looks fine, but can provide a video of engine noise. Well, why didn't you provide a video on the ad? That would have been better. Oh well. Yeah, this is welcome to Rinse My Advert. If you have a Focus Mark 1 with a problem with a noise, please put a video of it on the actual advert, especially if you're doing it on eBay, because I don't really want to be asking for a video or something, but you know, it's just convenience. 4 bids. 4 people have put their money where their mouth is, hopefully. That could go for anything from around 600. It's worth a go, but you might have to bear in mind you might need a new engine, or you might not. It could be as simple as an oil change. I'm actually going to show you an ad where somebody has actually sold a car. 1850 was the ad price. I'd hope that it got near to that, because this is an Edge, and they do get a bit scabby in places. The Edge models, being run out models, they all suffer from that. But it's the 3-door, and I don't like the wheels, but still, it's a 3-door, you know. Got the spoiler on the boot, nice one. Clean exhaust, yeah. Why have you put Haynes on the back? 1.8, which is very desirable. They did put the 1.8 on the Edge models. It's scabby going on down there. Sorry, I'm losing focus of where the camera's pointing. So yeah, that's the sort of scabbiness you gotta watch out for. Yeah, seems straight under there. Nothing's bent or out of place. Yep, lovely. I don't know why this is, but I always look to see if they've still got the rubber spoiler on the bottom of the bumper. Because if I see that missing, I'm walking away, because they clearly haven't looked after the car. They've caught it on a rock. It's been lost, or it's come off and they've chucked it away. They haven't even bothered to put it back on. And that is a sign of a bad owner. Sorry to all those that may not come under the back bracket, but it's the first thing I think about, and I can immediately see it's had the rear of the seal cut out. That is a really good buy then, because it's had the work done. Yeah, good. Yeah, I just don't like them. They're so big, those airbags. Ugh. Yeah, fine. Well, I'm not surprised it's sold, because it's only done 85,000 miles and it's got stacks of history like that from a BMW specialist. Okay, interesting. Well, it's sold, and I hope it's sold close to that, because it's worth every penny. And I always like to get a sense of balance. So we have an 04 plate Gia Estate top spec, £900. Okay, at a glance that looks good. So we've got leather seats, original radio. Yeah, the heated seats can go, but it's usually the wire that breaks. Usually it breaks as it goes into the seat foam, so you have to take the cover off. Looks a bit low. Maybe it's laden a bit. It is an estate. Okay. Oh dear. That wing has gone. That's the bubbliest wing I've seen in a while. It's actually protruded quite far out. Unless someone's had a go at touching it up, for goodness sake. No, that hasn't been touched up. That is properly gone. Literally the whole thing is one big hole. Put a screwdriver through that. Why don't you, sir? What is going on? Why is he taking a picture there? It's iced up. I don't know why. It's missing its headrests. What is... So it's got reverse sensors, cruise control. Great. Strong Ford Zetec engine. Does have a small oil leak at the top. That's the rocker cover. There is a hole of rust. We've seen that in the wing. Headrests and partial shelf went missing during a house move from France. Yeah, that's honest. Owned by the wife's dad. Mechanically looked after. Currently on sawn. A few bits need sorting. So it's got no MOT at the moment. Potentially there's a reason why that is. And I suspect, and this is my inkling, when I see a Focus with this sort of rust here, I think, how rotten is it underneath? And I suspect the answer is not a good one. Now, I have picked two ST170s at both ends of the scale. Now, this one is, well, it's been put up for it's at 720 with 20 bids. So clearly, I mean, it's got 6 days on it. I've got to be honest with you, that has attracted me straight away, because it is what, I don't know what colour it is actually. Can anybody tell me what this colour is? Because it's not moon dust silver. What colour is this on an ST170? I can't remember the exact name, but basically, very rarely do you see one in this colour. Very. So that's a plus point straight away. The trims never sit properly. They always break away, but still. I'll just bring that into the camera for you. Yeah. Nice and tidy, and original, with an original radio. That's a very good sign. What I've got a thing about is I understand that for many years people have wanted to make these cars, sorry, just put it there, to make these cars really usable. So they've basically the the slot in the fascia is a non-standard size, so it's not one din, it's not double, it's not one, it's like 1.5 dims. So basically, to fit a double dim with a big screen, which what people do, you have to butcher that fascia just a little bit around the corners, not by much, it's not far off, but it just needs a little bit of fettling. It is a very weird size. You can get fascias that are double din that have actually been cut pre-made from the aftermarket ones, and apparently they fit okay. They're not as much of a problem. But the thing is, I just think people do that so that they can actually use the car in a modern and usable way. I've got nothing against that, but that might be something you might have to reverse later down the line, because I think it's going to date quite quickly in these. Runs, drives well, service, new tyres, as well as headlights polished, traction control light is on. Ah, okay, not much information there. 70,000, but it may not have been ragged. And I don't think it has been by looking at that. No, I don't think so. But, that's just a guess. Could be far wrong with that. That's going to go for, I reckon, about £2,000. I might be wrong about that. Let's go to the next one. Now, the next, now this is quite a step up. We're going to finish the video with this particular car. This is an ST170, 35,000 miles, reduced from 69995. So they've tried to, so this is a dealer, right? And, dealers, when dealers start buying cars up, older cars, there's value in them. And I think they suspect anything that's an ST or an RS is going to have value now or later on. And ST170s like this, you're going to get some dollars for your money. I am surprised nobody's bought it. But then again, I still think maybe I'm just a little bit mad with what I would think these cars are worth. But there is no doubt in my mind that price, 6,995, will be achievable in a couple of years with this sort of example. Not yet. People are not willing to spend that much money, even on really tidy examples like this. I have to say that is the shots do it justice. It's clearly a dealer out in the open. I don't know where this is. Said birth. No idea where that is. It's just beautiful, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. Every single angle. This must have been garaged. It's either been garaged or resprayed. There's not a single imperfection on it. Mine's not. Mine's nowhere near as good as this. No, that's beautiful. They certainly know how to take good shots. That's an interesting shot. Well, I'll tell you what, that's pretty clean metal. That's pretty clean metal. Oh, it's nice to see the carpets have been cleaned. That is how to clean your carpets. Why they use carpet liners, I do not know. Even that's starting to bubble out just a bit in the corners, but yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Mint inside, recently MOT'd, full service history, low mileage, solid inside, no rust underneath, well cared for. No such thing as no rust. Sorry, but there's no such thing on a Mark 1. The car comes with genuine floor mats, new batteries, and on lights. This is definitely a dealer, whether it's a flip or whatever, but it's an absolutely stunning car regardless of motivations. And that is probably in today's money worth about £4,000. It's not worth 6. Not at the moment. We've got to be realistic about what cars are actually worth at this moment in time, and that is as nice a Mark 1 as you will find. 3-door, lovely colour, lovely condition, top spec, performance spec that most people like. £4,000, maybe 4.5, but I'd be surprised if that is sold. So Anyway, I'm going to leave this video here because I'm kind of thinking that it's gone on too long now. So I am going to leave you here with some ideas and thoughts just on a few adverts. I'll try to get a balance between like having a saloon estate, or 1.6 or 1.8 or 2 litre, and an automatic and an ST170, or both, two of them. So yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, out there is quite a mix still, but there is an awful lot of really pristine cars that are coming on the market. And I think people who really are into Fords need to start looking at their wallets. If they have any income, if you have some disposable income, I would certainly invest in a car like this. 100%. It's just not at that price. It's just not quite there yet. Give it a few years, and that's the sort of price you'll be looking at for these such examples. And all the other examples are going to go up, I suspect, in time. But only the ones that are unmolested, low mileage-ish, under 100,000 miles possibly, in really tidy condition. Those are the ones that are going to obtain more value than the rest. I've said this before, and I've said it again. I have done a lot of work to my Focus. I have done a lot of some modifying to my Focus over the 9 years I've owned the car. And the reason that I decided against that car staying as it was, and you'll find out in a video very shortly, was because it was just going to date really badly. And modified Focuses are always going to have a group in the community. They're always going to be part of it, and that's a good thing, because people are going to be creative and drive these cars and enjoy them. But the value for the people that want to come into the scene, look after them, but maybe move it on after a few years, it's not really there in modified stuff. You're most likely going to want to buy one and reverse some of the changes if you do decide to buy one. It's one of them, and you know, each to their own. We all enjoy different things. I suspect, you know, people who are into modified Focuses actually find this quite boring. They actually find an unmolested Focus, and they see it like a blank canvas. And I get that feeling. It is a blank canvas. Some of them are quite Spartan with what you get, and you want to tart it up. And I've tarted mine up in the past, and I absolutely get that. But I think the time has come to actually leave such examples alone now. There's been too many that have been messed around with, a little bit too much for my liking, but you know, each their own. Anyway, take care guys. I will see you very soon.